Alright, so here is my micro talk on SOL, which is a self-organized learning environment. Essentially, what happened was Dr. Sugata Mitra, a lovely man from India, um, had this idea of this hole-in-the-wall learning, where he literally carved a hole in the wall and put a computer in it in a slum in New Delhi, and he put an accessible computer with a mouse and just left it there for a while. And when he came back, he learned, or had discovered, that the children had learned to use the computer on their own with very little adult supervision. So this led him to construct this hypothesis that the acquisition of basic computing skills by any set of children can be achieved through incidental learning, provided the learners are given access to a suitable computing facility with entertaining and motivating content and some minimal human guidance. He was curious to see if this experiment was, affected by the locale, so he went way out into the slums of India and did it again. And again, he found the same results. After time, students were able to learn how to use web browsers and interact with the actual technology and learn for themselves. It's pretty interesting. He did do a TED Talk where he talks about his hypothesis and the actual study. How does this relate to your classroom, and what can you do to this classroom? I thought it was a pretty crazy idea, letting the kids pick what they wanted and just kind of go with it. But I was able to, in my robotics class, pretty easily, due to the nature of the content, to create a SOL classroom. I used a ton of web resources and basically just let my students choose what they wanted to learn. They were all given the same robot. However, what they chose to pursue in learning about that robot was completely up to them. If they wanted to just tinker with the robot and do different kinds of claw designs and drive designs, if they wanted just to do straight coding for autonomous control or for operator, or if they just wanted to work in the box, so to say, and program a robot in a virtual world. I was fortunate enough to have all of these resources available to me, and even a website that I can use to monitor some of their work. And so basically what it looks like, RobotC has an entire support website with all these different things that the students can access. There are also a ton of forums that the kids can access, all related to what they're actually doing. So depending on what they were interested in, they could go along the forum and just kind of find and poke around in there. Also, there is a wonderful video trainer for them. So each one of these goes through and has a short little video that they can watch and watch again. So I had to encourage them to bring headphones so they could quietly watch these on their own. And it's great, they can come back and watch them as many times as they need to and review. Also, the virtual worlds is another thing that they could access, where they could actually go. There's a curriculum companion that they were able to follow. They were able to do some of the other different games. Each one of these is a programming challenge. And I was able to monitor these through the Computer Science Network. So all in all, they all went in pretty separate directions. They all learned quite a bit, and I think one of the best things that I discovered out of the whole thing was that they were actually able to teach each other quite a bit, and to teach me some things. There was a whole documentary called One Piece at a Time that you can also go and see if you're more interested in his findings and his experiments. But depending on what you are teaching and what resources you can find, it's pretty easy to open it up and just let the kids go on and find what they want. I restricted my class to robot design and robot programming, so all of these websites relate to that. As long as you do the legwork and find and make sure that the links are going to put them in the direction that you want them to, it seems to work pretty well. So that was the whole SOL classroom. There's also other links out there for teachers to set up some different kinds of things, but it's really interesting when student choice comes into learning, how effective that can be as a motivator.